My own family told me to cancel my dream house and hand the money to my 8-year-old brother like I was his personal bank. I laughed and said, "No way," and the whole FaceTime call turned into a firing squad. 2 months later, I had him in a notary's office signing away his claim to his own house because the truth finally came out. I've been obsessed with houses since I was a kid. It's why I became an architect and why I've spent years buying, fixing, and renting properties to build real security. That income came from late nights, busted budgets, and me doing my own refurb plans until my eyes hurt. My wife and I were about to buy our forever place in France, biggest purchase of our lives. I told my parents and siblings because I thought they'd be happy for us. My brother jumped in immediately. "I need a bigger home for the kids," he said. Then he went for it. "You should stop buying yours and give me that money instead, and you can cover renovations too." I actually laughed. I thought it was a bad joke. "No way," I said, still smiling. That smile died fast. My mom's face hardened. My dad started sighing like I'd kicked a puppy. Everyone piled on at once how I owe my brother, how family shares, how my wife and I don't need another house. 10 straight minutes of guilt, like they'd rehearsed it. My wife sat beside me, jaw clenched. I kept wondering, how was my dream suddenly a group project? To shut them up, I said I'd think about it and hung up. I've always been the reasonable one, and they know exactly how to use that. Later, my wife and I pitched a compromise. I'd buy a house for my brother, legally mine, and rent it to him at cost. No profit, just help. When I offered it, he got insulted. "I'm not living under my little brother as a landlord," he snapped. Then my parents called and went for the throat. "Just give him the money, no strings," my mom said, like I was handing over a sweater, not years of work. That was my last straw. I said no, again, and moved forward with France. People love to say family first, but nobody ever volunteers their own savings when they say it. A week later, my sister-in-law called me, voice shaky, asking if I'd reconsider helping. That was when I realized my brother hadn't told me the real story. I told her flat out, either he comes clean or we're done talking. He called a week after that and confessed. 2 years of gambling, real losses. He admitted he'd blown a big chunk of their savings, and he'd been in therapy trying to stop. The dream house was out of reach because he'd lit the down payment on fire. Then came the part that made my stomach drop. My parents knew. From the beginning, they'd coached him to ask me for a huge amount so I'd compromise and still pay something. When I confronted them, my mom told me I owe them more than it's my money because they raised me. Looking back, that sentence explains everything. My mom controlled my dad's paycheck, squeezed my brother for cash when he started working, and preached morality while bleeding people dry. My dad acted helpless, then hid behind her, so I stopped negotiating feelings. I started negotiating contracts. I didn't want to punish my sister-in-law or the kids for my brother's mess. I offered a clean, legal fix. I'd step in, but only in a way that protected her. I bought the mortgage note at a discount and had the loan rewritten solely in her name. Fixed rate. My brother had to sign a renunciation of any claim, and he'd get a check for the equity he'd actually paid. My lawyer put everything in writing. The notary appointment was the moment I stopped being the nice one. He showed up 40 minutes late, smelling like cheap whiskey. After that, he tried to turn the waiting room into a stage. Next, he shouted that I was stealing his house. Once again, he dragged the kids into it, like weapons. Then I slid the papers over and said, "You haven't paid in a year." After that, I said, "Sign or they lose everything." Next, his pen hit the page. He took the check and walked out without saying goodbye. I stood there, cold and relieved. I can't love him without condoning him, and I'm done trying to do both. Now I'm in France with my wife. In the house my family wanted me to sacrifice. I cut contact with my parents. My brother cut contact with me too, and honestly, the silence is peaceful. My sister-in-law kept her home, the mortgage is in her name, and my nieces and nephews still have stability. That's the only family first that matters to me. So what would you do? Hand over your dream to fund someone else's addiction, or make them sign the truth in ink? Drop your take below.